I want to be really honest with you about something because every year around this time, my energy drops. And I don't know if you can relate to this, but for years I judged myself for it. I thought I was being lazy or unmotivated or undisciplined, all that nonsense that we tell ourselves. But if you're like me and you are a practicing witch or you resonate with being a witch, and November feels a little bit heavy for you too, there's actually a reason for it. And once you understand why, everything begins to make sense. So that's exactly what we're talking about in today's video. Welcome, wild ones. Hello, I am Emma Louise Dyson, earth medicine woman and shamanic witch and the founder of Wild and Untamed. If you are new here, welcome. I help you to connect with the old ways, the spirits of the land and your own embodied magic. So here on this channel, we talk about seasonal magic. We talk about earth medicine, shamanic witchcraft practices, and how to actually live your craft rather than just kind of learning about it. So if you are ready to deepen your path, to stay connected with the rhythms of land, then make sure, of course, that you do like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. So, November, let's talk about why it sometimes feels so freaking heavy. So there's a few reasons. First of all, we have the post-Samhain drop. So let's talk about Samhain. Samhain cracks the veil open. It is this like the energy peaks. The ancestors are close. Your intuition is sharp, like you're seeing things in your peripheral vision, like all of this is going on. And then it starts to sink. And it's kind of like the spiritual equivalent of having an adrenaline crash, right? So it's all of this stuff happening and then it slows down and stops. Then you've got the natural descent. What do I mean by this? So everything in nature right now here in the Northern Hemisphere, where I live in right now, everything is pulling downwards. So the sap in the trees, the energy of the season is pulling the energy down. The animals are slowing down. The land is going quiet. And as witches, we don't just observe that, we feel that. So your body and your energy is matching the season, whether we want it to or not, right? We're starting to draw down, we're starting to go inwards. Then we've also got the shift in light. Here in the UK, it is getting dark now at 4 p.m. Sunset is at 4 p.m. So less daylight also affects our root and our sacral chakra more than anything else. So we are meant to be slowing down. We are meant to soften. But we live in this world where we're told that we've got to push through like it's June. And that is where exhaustion hits. And I'm saying this from experience. And then November like stirs up emotions within us as well in a very specific way. Things feel a lot closer to the surface, even small things. So you might find yourself a bit more reflective, a bit more sensitive. You might feel yourself feeling a bit more raw around the edges. My patience is just not what it used to be at the moment. And the darker months naturally slow the body down. Yeah. And when your pace shifts, you become more aware of what is actually sitting underneath everything else. So it's really normal for this part of the season to feel less light and to feel more stillness, more awareness of what's happening inside us. So that is why we might be feeling different emotions. That is why we might be like leaning towards doing more shadow work. We are not separate from nature. We are part of nature, and we live in this world that encourages us to work against it. And witches tend to notice this earlier because we're already tuned in to everything around us. So November has this way of making itself known in the body long before the mind catches up, which is why you might be feeling heavier in your limbs. You might be feeling slower in your thoughts, or like your motivation has just quietly kind of left the chat. Your intuition can feel a bit foggy. It's not gone, it's just muted. Dreams often get louder, sleep gets deeper or more restless, and your nervous system also sits closer to the surface as well. So you might feel things more quickly than you would usually. And I see this every year in my students and also in myself. You know, the body shifts first and then the mind kind of catches up. November has this very kind of particular pace. It is steady, it is quiet, it's a little bit dense. You feel it when you go outside, right? And so if you're noticing that, you are moving in sync with the seasons, which is what we're supposed to do. And then there's another piece to this as well that I see over and over and over again, particularly in witches, because November doesn't just slow down, it also sharpens certain senses and dulls others. And that particular shift also takes energy. So let me give you an example. If you've been doing ancestor work around Samhain, you might still feel a bit of that weight in your field. Yeah? The veil doesn't just snap shut, you know, on the 2nd or 3rd of November, right? We're still in that energy. The connection lingers and your system still holds on to some of that intensity. Your psychic senses are also starting to turn inwards this time of year as well. So instead of picking up every ripple outside of you, your awareness drops deeper into your own body, into your own dreams, into your own instinct, right? And this internal shift can sometimes feel like fatigue, even when nothing is like physically wrong. Does that resonate with you? Many witches also experience a kind of emotional openness in November as well. So this is like this subtle sensitivity, and it makes everything land a little bit stronger than usual. I am really feeling that at the moment. Things that wouldn't usually bother me are bothering me, and I'm just, a bit more aware of this additional sensitivity right now. And that's okay too, right? So what do we actually do about it? What can we do? Well, there are a few things that can make November a lot easier on your body and also on your witchcraft practice. And none of these require any huge rituals or any forcing yourself to kind of power through. I'm here for all of that, because that goes completely against what's happening in the natural world right now, doesn't it? So let me share with you 7 practices that are going to really help to support your system while the season is doing its November thing. Number 1, get your hands on the earth. I'm going to shout it louder for the people at the back. Get your hands on the earth. So when we do grounding, I teach this with my clients, my students. We often imagine roots growing from our tailbone or from the soles of our feet into Mother Earth, right? November grounding needs to be a bit more physical. So touch the soil. Press your palms against a tree. Oh my gosh, there's so much medicine in that. Stand on the grass barefoot, even for a minute. Your body regulates faster when you give it something solid to connect with. Number 2, work with warming herbs. Anything that brings you some heat, some circulation to help the energy to start moving again. So rosemary, juniper, ginger, a favorite of mine, cinnamon, pine. You can add them to the bath. You can drink them as tea. You can burn them as incense. Whatever you like to do personally, right? Just make sure that it's safe. These warming herbs are going to help to stabilize your root and your sacral chakra beautifully this time of year. And who doesn't want a hug in a mug anyway when it's getting cold? Number 3, this one's interesting. Let your tools rest. Now, last week I talked about certain divination tools, working with them seasonally in last week's video. So if your intuition feels a bit foggy, don't force doing any kind of readings. Instead, I would say put your tarot deck, your oracle deck, whatever you might be working with, onto your altar just for a few days, and maybe just keep a stone beside your bed instead. Yeah, because your psychic senses are shifting inwards. So give everything time to recalibrate as we're moving into this winter energy. Number 4, refresh your space. Oh man, it is just it just shifts things so much, especially after Samhain energy. So a simple clearing is going to make all the difference. Open the windows, sweep the floors, smoke the doorways, change the water on your altar. You're not removing negative energy, you are releasing that static, right? That is kind of built up. Number 5, bring your pace down. Bring your pace down and do this on purpose. What does that mean? Choose one thing you do every day and just slow it right down, even if it's for 30 seconds. Whether that's stirring your tea, whether that's washing your face. Oh, I use a flannel anyway. I love a flannel. Like a washcloth for my American friends. Just slowing it down. Just even lighting a candle, just slowing things down. Just choose one thing. You don't have to overcomplicate it. But what this does is it signals your nervous system that slowing down is actually allowed. And when your nervous system is like, okay, I'm allowed to slow down, this untangles an incredible amount of fatigue that you might be feeling in your life. Penultimately, number 6, create one small anchor ritual. Pick something that you can actually maintain in November. Again, it might be lighting a nightly candle. I said to my partner Mark a couple of days ago, I want to bring candles back into the bedroom. So in the morning, instead of switching on the artificial light when it's dark, still dark in the morning, we light a candle. It's going to help our circadian rhythm. It's going to help us be aligned with what is happening in the world instead of these like big LED lights. Yeah. So maybe you want to light a candle. Maybe it is just a mug of ginger tea. Maybe you are going to do a simple walk at dusk. I love that this time of year. Beautiful sunsets we get this time of year. So create one small anchor ritual. One is enough. Consistency, again, is going to soothe your system far more than intensity right now. Yeah. And finally, number 7, sleep when your body asks. Sleep. We need it. This month, your dreams might be getting loud. If you feel tired, go to bed at 9 p.m. What's going to happen? You're nourishing yourself. You're taking better care of yourself, because November pulls you inwards for a reason. Your intuition does some of its best work while you're in that like half in and half out of sleep. So November is going to ask us just to slow down. So really do honor your body, self-care, nurturing yourself. Our ancestors would not be going out and, going for a run and doing all of these things. It was a time of going inward when the world starts to quiet. So November asks a lot of witches to come inwards and to really align with the rhythm of the season. So you're moving with the season, even if it feels a little bit heavy to start with. So there we go, folks. That is this week's video. It is something really passionate, something really close to my heart. Living seasonally is so important and something so much of society is disconnected with. And if you want support staying connected to your craft through these shifts, the herbs, the rituals, the energy work, the lived day by day practice, come and join me inside the Wild 13. So the Wild 13 is my monthly mystery school where we walk a whole year together, moon by moon, season by season, real teachings, real community, and real practices that can actually work for you to be able to weave them into your life. You will find the link below, and I'd love to have you join us if you are feeling called. There's already a beautiful group creating at the moment. So in the meantime, let me know in the comments if any of this resonated with you. What are you feeling right now? Are you feeling this like weight, this heaviness, this exhaustion, and it's not making sense? I trust it does now. I'd love to hear from you. So comment below and I will see you in the next video.